I saw Shazam.
Yeah.
Early pre-screening, 2 weeks early. So this is an exclusive, T-Kettle. Got an exclusive 2-week early review of Shazam.
I thought Mark went to that too.
Oh yeah?
I think so.
Here's the crazy thing. When studios do these 2-week pre-screenings, that means they have a lot of faith in the movie, right?
Yeah.
So they have a lot of faith that this movie is going to do well because now people who saw the pre-screenings, they're going to create word of mouth for it, including myself. So I saw Shazam, and it was pretty freaking good. I'm going to be real. It was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, this is DC's new film, the 7th installment of the DC Cinematic Universe or World of DC, whatever they're doing, whatever they're calling it, whatever. Shazam is about Billy Batson, who's like a little kid who, gets the power of the wizard, also named Shazam. He gets like the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Zeus, or like the powers of Zeus, the strength of Hercules, and like, the speed of Mercury, all like the gods, the Greek gods,
Yes.
So he gets all of them. So when this like 15-year-old kid says Shazam, he turns into like this kind of Superman-esque character. So it's like Big, but with a superhero.
Yes.
And there's actually a really cool tribute to Big in the movie. It was pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah.
So they knew.
Oh, they knew 100%. So this is directed by David F. Sandberg, who I've been following since his Lights Out short film. The dude is like, I mean, he's the story we all aspire to be, all filmmakers. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's an overnight success. He made a 1-minute short film online that was turned into a feature that he directed. And then he directed Annabelle 2, which was far superior than the first one. And now he's doing a freaking $100 million blockbuster. It's like, what? That's crazy.
Let's get it.
Did he do a good job? Yes, he did. Okay, first of all, this movie is a bit slow-moving in the start. So at the start, there's a couple moments of just a little awkward momentum, a little awkward acting here and there. But as soon as Shazam appears, as soon as the thing happens where Billy becomes Shazam, the movie gets like, all right, full throttle. Like, we're in it now. And then it just becomes amazing from then on, therefore. So if you're watching it in the first like 20 minutes, you're kind of like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Just give it some time, because what they're doing is they're setting up all the characters and the relationships between all the characters. Because the first 20 minutes there's like no action.
Yeah.
Because they're setting up everything. So for people watching it, I can see how they might be bored for the first 20 minutes. But like I said, as soon as Zachary Levi appears, boom, movie is in full gear, and from then on, dude, movie is straight up fantastic. All right, the heart of the movie is great. The humor is actually really good. I saw it in a sold-out theater, so maybe it was kind of that crowd mentality, but people were cracking up at the jokes. They're really funny. Seeing like Billy Batson kind of like develop his powers and trying to test his powers and like figure it out is really hilarious, especially with like his foster brother there.
Yeah.
And like doing like in the trailer when you saw like the strength tests and the flight tests, there's like much more of that, and it's really funny.
Excellent.
There's some really good humor in the movie, and I think that's what really anchors this movie is the human elements of the film, the drama and the heart of the film. Because there's actually some really good drama. I won't spoil it, but Billy is kind of on the quest to find something, right? And you kind of see where it's going, but you don't exactly know if the movie has the balls to pull it off. They're like, are they going to do this, or are they going to take the cheesy way out? But no, the movie has the balls to do it, and they did it. And it has a kind of a satisfying conclusion. Satisfying in a weird way, in like a melancholy sort of way. And you're like, damn, like you actually had the balls to do that. And it's like, all right, I'm glad, I applaud you for taking that route,
This quest is to find a girlfriend.
No, it's not to find a girlfriend, but it's to find something.
I thought it'd be funny.
No, okay, no.
I was joking. I didn't actually think that.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were being serious. No, yeah. Again, there's some really good human drama, and the acting from across the board is great. Again, there's for some reason like the first 20 minutes there's like some awkward moments, but after that, like the acting from then on is like great, especially from Mark Strong, who plays the villain, who, by the way, Dr. Savannah in the comics is not a very intimidating villain, but in this movie they make him like a very intimidating dude, because Mark Strong is always great as the villain.
He's so good.
He's always so good, and you're like, dang, like he's actually kind of intimidating. There's actually a scene, I won't spoil it, involving the villain in a boardroom, and I'm like, wow, like that just got dark. Like I think he just went like David F. Sandberg kind of went back to his horror roots for a little bit there.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's
crazy, huh?
I'm like, that's kind of dark. Like like Spider-Man 2, like with that scene with Dr. Octopus in the arms. I was like, and it's kind of it's a great scene, but it's like, what the fuck? Like it's kind of
I remember
dark
that,
like that.
That hit me when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something like that where I was like, what the? But there's also like an element of humor to it as well, kind of like dark humor. And I was like, this is crazy. So it was
probably dark humor if you're an adult, but if you're a kid, that's like
that shit's traumatizing. As if you're a kid, dude. Holy crap! Yeah, like a little kid, because like there's like these. I don't want to spoil it. I won't even spoil it. But yeah, Mark Strong is a good villain. He does have motivation, so he's not just like a one-note villain. At least like they do give him backstory to why he's doing it. I will say that after something happens to him, he does sort of become like a little one-note, but he's not completely one-note, so that's good. Mm-hmm. You know, again, a lot of this movie is anchored by Zachary Levi's performance as a kid, basically becoming an adult superhero and figuring out his powers, and like the humor and the heart that comes with that, and like the humor and heart in finding a family, you know, which is kind of like the main theme of the movie, I guess you could say, you know, because he's like a foster kid.
Oh yeah.
So
I actually didn't know that.
It was in the trailer. You know, that was literally the first thing in the trailer. He's like, you've been to like 10 foster homes and 10.
Was the trailer number one?
I think like both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I remember the first thing in 2 was him getting his powers.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
So I watched the first one like forever ago. So
yeah, no, in the first one, that was like the first thing said. All right, so yeah. Also, the action is pretty well done. Like again, it's very grounded. The movie, and I'll get into my gripes in a second, but I guess I'll get into one of them now. You said the cinematography was very bland, very stock. You know.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's one negative I do have. The cinematography is very stock. I think David F. Sandberg, because this is like his third film, he's still kind of developing his style though. Mm-hmm. So I feel like what that style does though is it grounds the film, because this is not like an epic film. This is not like an Avengers or a Justice League. It's a very grounded, very human story. Sure. So I think the cinematography kind of adds to that. Like there's no epic scale, like wide scale kind of like city-ending battles happening. Sure. You know, the final battle actually takes place in kind of like a secluded area, which again just makes it more personal, because I feel like this movie is much more of a personal film than it is like an epic film. You know, they're probably shaving Shazam. They're probably saving Shazam as an epic character for like later films. You know, if they ever do like another Justice League or something. Mm-hmm. You know, so the cinematography is kind of bland, but I feel like it just adds to the grounded nature of the film, you know?
Sure.
So again, like I said this 100 times, but Zachary Levi anchors this film, and the humor and the heart is really what sells this film, and that's where you get attached as a viewer. You get attached to these characters, and you start to care for like everybody. You care for everyone, mm-hmm. and you're like, this is actually getting me. Like I'm invested.
That's what DC needed.
Yes, it is, and they've been. This is 2 in a row, DC. So. You've had it. You got it. You know? Let's keep this going, because this is the first time they've had 2 in a row. Uh-huh. Even after Wonder Woman, it was Justice League, and it was like, no! So, 2 in a row. You got this, DC. I believe in you. Another thing I really loved, again, is like the special effects, but they're like, because they're like cheesy, but like they're like good cheesy in a way. Mm-hmm. You know, because like that's who the character is. You know, Shazam is like a golden age hero that sort of embraces the cheesy aspects of that character, and I'm glad that Sandberg and the movie team, whatever, embrace the cheesier aspects of the character. Like his suit is the Captain Marvel suit. They didn't try to modernize it. They didn't try to like add like weird armor bits or something like that. No, he looks exactly like he is from the comics, like the golden age. Uh-huh. You know, like even the cape that goes halfway down, like it's great.
Yeah,
you know?
did they like stuff his like arms and stuff?
Oh,
like that?
I think he was wearing a bodysuit. Like,
okay, because
I think
wow,
yeah.
I'm like, that is not your build.
No way. There's no way. But that's not really as distracting because I mean I guess we're sort of used to it by now because we've seen it like in the trailers and stuff. So
Sure.
no, it's still great. Again, it's just a really funny, really heartfelt movie. There's not much to say about it. Besides the cinematography, another small gripe I have is, and I kind of saw this from the trailer too, the kid Billy Shazam, he kind of doesn't match up with Shazam as an adult, like his personality a little bit. Because like as a kid, when he's a kid, he's kind of like cynical and very like introverted.
Okay.
But like when he becomes Shazam, he's kind of goofier, like Zachary Levi, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like there was just a small inconsistency with that, but it wasn't like enough to really bother me too much, you know, because again, it's great.
Yeah.
So it's a fun film and pleasant surprise because I was expecting it like to be decent. I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting.
Yes.
I'm kind of. It seems like the two that you're referring to, like this and Aquaman, you had a good time with these movies. Like they're just like they're fun movies or whatever. It's not like
well, this movie's actually good. Like, well, I mean, okay, how do I explain it?
Because they're not like adding to anything in particular. They're just kind of like one-off movies.
Yeah, they're standalone films for sure. Like Aquaman and Shazam are standalone films. Aquaman, I can see more of the structure problems. Like, I love the film. It's my favorite DC film. I'm gonna be real with you, just because it's so much fun to watch. But if someone came up to me and said the structure of that film is very strange, I wouldn't disagree. So as a put together movie, I think Shazam is better. But I just have so much fun with Aquaman, and I love like the stylistic choices that Aquaman made. And Aquaman was an epic film. Aquaman was huge, you know, like a huge scale film. Mm-hmm. This is very small scale, which sometimes you need for these superhero films, you know.
Sure.
And Shazam was perfect to do like a small scale superhero film, and I really enjoyed this film. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
All right.
4 out of 5 stars. So Shazam!